Hello people in the interwebs and welcome to the blue set review for Kaladesh. We're going to jump right in and talk about the cards. We're going to kick things off with Aetherscore Agent, which is a 7 mana 6/6 creature Leviathan with flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get 3 energy counters, and you can pay 8 energy to return all of the creatures to the owner's hands. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast this sorcery. 7 mana for 6/6 flyer is okay, that's fine. The fact that it gives us 3 energy every upkeep is okay. The ability seems kind of cool, but I just don't think we're going to see this in Duels going forward. I just don't believe we're going to see it unless there is like a blue-white energy deck that wants to slow roll this guy out eventually. I don't personally see this card being played at all. So yeah, we're just going to move swiftly on to the next card, which is Aether Meltdown. It's a 2 casting enchantment aura. It has flash, which means that we can cast this spell anytime we can play an instant and enchanted creature or vehicle. And whenever Aether Meltdown enters the battlefield, we get 2 energy counters, and enchanted permanent gets -4, -0. I don't think this is going to be played. I think there are better options to do this exact sort of effect that we have available. The fact that it can enchant a creature on a vehicle is neither here nor there. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see this going forward. I really don't see this card being something we need to be worrying about. Again, if there is an energy deck that we need extra energy for, we may play it, but outside of that I don't see it being a thing. So we are going to move on to the next card, which is going to be Aether Theorist, which is a 2 mana 1/3 creature Valdakin Rogue. When Aether Theorist enters the battlefield, we get 3 energy counters, and then we can tap it, pay an energy to scry 1. So we look at the top card of our library, and we may put that card on the bottom of our library if we want to. Aether Theorist seems pretty okay on paper. If there is a energy deck, this guy is going to be a mainstay in that deck. It is a bit of an energy sink, but I don't know if we need energy sinks because it's a new resource, so it's unusual. But definitely I'd add in Aether Theorist into the energy deck. Outside the energy deck, I don't know if I'm playing him a lot. I don't think he's better than Sigil Starfish, which costs the same mana. Okay, maybe Power and Toughness would be better, but outside of that, I don't see it being played, I'm afraid. So we are going to move on to the next card, which is Aether Tradewinds, which is a 3 casting instant. Return target permanent you control and target permanent you don't control to their owner's hands. This card has been reprinted a bunch, and yeah, it's okay. We do take a bit of a tempo hit to get to bounce an opponent's thing, but you know what, it's not as bad as you probably think it is. But I don't see it being played. I don't see it really being played, and yeah, that's all I can really say is so far in the blue cards I can't see much being played. Moving on to Confiscation Coop, which is a 5 casting sorcery. Choose target artifact or creature, you get 4 energy counters. Then you may pay an amount of energy equal to the permanent's converted mana cost. If you do, gain control of it. If there is an energy deck, this is another mainstay in that deck. It seems a really good effect. I like what it's doing here. But yeah, whether this comes to fruition of an energy deck being a real thing, is yet to be seen, but I do believe that this card will be heavily featured in any sort of energy deck going forward. On to the next card, which is Curio Vendor, which is a 2 casting 2/1 creature Valdakin. Not much to see here, not really much to talk about. We're not really short on 2 mana creatures, but it's nice that they're giving us this, but I don't see it being played post rotation, I'm sorry. Next up, we have Dramatic Reversal, and it's a 2 mana instant, untap all non-land permanents you control. Now, well, I can see what they did with the flavor wise, but I don't see this being a dramatic reversal. I don't. I don't think it's going to be played. If it is, it's going to be very narrow decks that are going to play it. But yeah, I think dramatic reversal, it's not going to be a thing post Kaladesh. I really don't think. I mean, there might be a deck that can abuse this, and I might be proven wrong. But as far as I can see, this card is not in any of the decks that I'm certainly playing. Next up, we have Era of Innovation, which is a 2-casting enchantment. Whenever an artifact or an artificer enters the battlefield under our control, we may pay 1 mana. If we do, we get 2 energy counters. Then we can pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to sacrifice this card and draw 3 cards. I don't know, again, if this is the card that we need in an energy deck. I'm not too sure. But outside the energy deck, I'm not liking this card. I think it's a bit too slow. Yeah, no, I'm not sold on this. I don't think it's going to be a card that we need to worry about in the future. Moving on to Gear Seeker Serpent, which is a 7-casting 5/6 creature serpent. Gear Seeker Serpent costs 1 less to cast for each artifact we control, and we pay 6 mana to make it can't be blocked this turn. Interesting card. This card could be dirt cheap if we hold enough artifacts, and it could be a real threat going forward. If again we're building like a aggro sort of deck. It has technically Yard Affinity, though it's not directly Chord Affinity. Yes, maybe this might be a card that does get featured. I don't know. It depends on how good the artifacts are in the set, and if they're that strong, then this card will probably get played. So yeah, it's definitely going to be something I'm going to be watching out for in the near future. Moving on to the next card, which is Glimmer of Genius. It's a 4-casting instant. Scry 2, then draw 2 cards and you get 2 energy counters. It does what for 4 mana? That is insane. Wow. I love this card. It's really good. I mean, for 4 mana we get to scry 2 cards, we get to draw 2 cards, and we get 2 energy counters. It's really good. I think this is going to be played even in decks that don't want the energy counters. I think this is going to be a good replacement for people like myself who play Inspiration and stuff like that. This is the card that we've been waiting for, and it's really good. And I'm glad that they've brought it in, and I can definitely see this going to a fair few of the decks that we see in the near future. Next up, we have Glint Nest Crane. It's a 2-casting 1/3 creature bird, flying, and when Glint Nest Crane enters the battlefield, we look at the top 4 cards of our library. We may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into our hand, then put the rest on the bottom of our library in any order. So straight away, if there is an artifact deck, then this probably gets featured. But outside of that, I don't think it gets featured. And again, we don't know how strong the artifacts are going to be. So yeah, I'm not completely sold on this card at all. We will move swiftly onto High Tide Hermit, which is a 5-casting creature crab 4/4 with Defender. And when it enters the battlefield, we get 4 energy counters, and then we can pay 2 energy to have it be able to attack as though it didn't have Defender. 5 mana 4/4 with Defender, not where we want to be. We may want this in the energy deck if that's a thing, but outside of that, nah, I don't think that's going to be a thing. To be honest, I really don't think it's going to be a thing. And move swiftly on to Insidious Will, which is a 4-casting instant. Choose 1, counter target spell. We may choose new targets for target spell, or copy target instant or sorcery spell. We may choose new targets for the copy. I like Insidious Will. I like all 3 modes that it could be usable. It's a very flexible spell. I can definitely see it being played in the meta going forward, definitely in like the control decks. They're definitely going to want this kind of card. Yeah, so I really do dig into this one. I think it's a card that we are going to see going forward. Next up, we have a long-finned sky whale, which is a forecasting 4/3 creature whale with flying, and it can only block creatures with flying. Not much to see here, really. There isn't much to see with this card. I'm not a fan of creatures that can't block really well, and this is a perfect example of that. So really, I don't think we're going to be seeing this at all post-rotation. Moving on to Malfunction, which is a forecasting enchantment aura. Enchant artifact or creature. When it enters the battlefield, we tap the enchanted permanent, and then the enchanted permanent doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Okay, so we get a slightly better claustrophobia because this can go on artifacts now. I don't think it replaces claustrophobia, and even then, claustrophobia is not really played in the current metagame. It's like really outside cases that play it. But apart from that, I don't see this card really being played. No, not 100% sure on this card. So we will move on to the next card, which is Minister of Inquiries. It's a one casting 1/2 creature Valdekan advisor, and when it enters the battlefield, we get 2 energy counters. Then we can tap it, pay an energy. Target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Minister of Inquiries. I don't think we're going to be inquiring anything further from you. I think this card is absolute garbage. We're not going to be playing it. Outside of the energy deck, I don't think we want this sort of a thing. And most people are like, oh, but it's the mill deck thing. It's like, yeah, but it's not going to do enough, trust me. So no, I don't think Minister of Inquiries is going to be a thing. We're going to move on to the next card, which is a Nimble Innovator. It's a forecasting 2/2 creature Valdekan Artificer, and when it enters the battlefield, we draw a card. Again, this is not really anything, really. It's not something we're going to be playing very highly. I don't think we're going to see it post-rotation. And yeah, I'm pretty convinced to say that this is not the card that we're looking for. Considering that we already have a free casting card that does the same way creature dies. This for 1 mana allows it to enter back from draw card. Nah, I just don't see it myself, I'm afraid. So I'm going to move on to the next card, which is Padim, Console of Innovation. It's a forecasting 1/4 legendary creature Valdekan Artificer. Artifacts you control have hexproof. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control the artifact with the highest converted mana cost, or tied for the highest converted mana cost, draw a card. In an artifact deck or in a vehicle deck, sorry, I think this card gets played, but I don't think I'm jamming it really toughly. I don't think it's something I'm picking and choosing to be in that deck really highly. But yeah, apart from that, I don't see it being played apart from in the vehicle deck, if that's going to be a thing. Moving on to Shali's Artistry. Sorry if I screwed that up. It's a 6 mana sorcery. Choose one or both. Create a non-token that's a copy of target artifact. Create a token that's a copy of target creature, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. I don't think we're going to see this either. I think for 6 mana it's way overcosted. I don't think there's going to be enough range for this to be used. I don't think. I'm pretty convinced here that is not going to be a card that we're going to need to worry about. I'm going to move on to Select for Inspection. It's a 1 casting instance. Return target tap creature to return its hand. Scry 1. It does what for 1 mana? That is absolutely insane. I mean, the fact that we can bounce attacking creatures to owner's hands is fantastic. We get to scry 1? That's like free. It's like we pay 1 to bounce a guy that's attacking us. We get described for nothing. Select for inspection. I am selecting you for inspection. I'm looking at R&D and going, I want to inspect how the heck you printed this at 1 mana, because that is absolutely hella value. Yes, this card is going to be played. Yes, you are going to be playing against this card. It is going to be a card that is going to be in a lot of the decks that I definitely feature, and I would assume a lot of other people would see the value in this card. It's just absolutely insane. I can't believe it's 1 mana. Moving on and swiftly on to Shrewd Negation. Negation? Yeah, negation? Yeah. 5 mana sorcery. Exchange control of target artifact you control. Target artifact creature you don't control. I noticed that it says target artifact, and then it gives you the option of an artifact or a creature you don't control. That's interesting. It's a different take on that old switcheroo effect. Do I see it being played? I don't think we do. I don't think it's going to be a thing. I'm really convinced it's not going to be a thing going forward. So yeah, we're just going to get on to the next card, which is Thriving Turtle. It's a 1 casting 0/3 creature turtle. When it enters the battlefield, we get 2 energy counters. Whenever it attacks, we may pay 2 energy to put a +1/+1 counter on it. 1 mana 0/3. It's okay as a blocker. And then with each additional energy, this guy can get slightly bigger. Do I like it? It's kind of cool, but I don't think it's something that we're going to be seeing outside of any sort of energy deck that might be around. But outside of that, I just don't think we're going to see it played. So I'm going to move on to the next card, which is Torrential Gearhook. Sorry if I screwed that up. It's a 6 mana, 5/6 artifact creature construct. It has flash, and when Torrential Gearhook enters the battlefield, we may cast target instant card from our graveyard without paying its mana cost. The card will be put into the graveyard this turn, exile it instead. Do I see it being played? No, I don't think it gets played. It's a nice little trick. I don't think it gets played. I can't see many decks wanting this. Yeah, I'm not convinced that this is a card we want. I mean, I know it allows us to cast a creature, an instant spell for free, but you know what? I don't think it's going to be a card that I need to be worrying about. So no, I don't think it's going to be in post-rotation or post-Kaladesh release. Moving on to Valdekan Blademaster, which is a 3 casting 2/3 creature Valdekan soldier with prowess. I don't think we are looking at this card. I don't think it's interesting enough. I don't think it's going to be something that we need to worry about. I think there's other stuff that's probably available that's slightly better than this at that casting cost. So no, I don't think we're going to be seeing the Blademaster again. And moving on to the final card in blue, which is Wildfast Wingsmith, which is a 4 casting creature human artificer, and it is a 3/3, and whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, it gains flying until end of turn. So obviously this goes straight into the artifact deck or vehicle deck. Do I like it? Yeah, it's okay. 4 mana 3/3 that can fly sometimes is pretty good, but I just don't think we're going to have enough artifacts to keep this flying throughout the game. I just don't think that's going to be a thing. So yeah, I don't know. I think it might be, but I also think it might not. So it's going to be something I'm going to keep under advisement and watch if it does get played. Anyhow guys, that is the blue set review, well the blue cards for this set review done. Blue looks not so great. There isn't many cards there that really took me and made me go, oh, blue's getting some cool stuff. I mean, we're getting a new counter spell and we're getting a sweet way of drawing some cards, but outside of that I don't think, and we've got the bounce spell as well, which is pretty awesome. Apart from those 3, I don't think there was much else going on there. Anyhow guys, hope you're enjoying the review so far. I made a mistake on my last video. I said that this wouldn't be up until tomorrow. I've decided to upload it today to go along with the white one. And tomorrow we will have black, and the rest of the days we'll go through the rest of the colours. Anyhow guys, thank you for your time today, and I will see you in the black set review. Bye bye.